Experiment 23 continued. Here is the data analysis for, instead of the calculations, now we're going to be analyzing the graph. So you did the reaction and you watched to see how long it took. And we recorded those values, we did some calculations, but then you also made a mixture, put it into a little cuvette, and you put it in the colorimeter, which is kind of like a beer Lambert, but beer Lambert would graph nope, I lied, sorry. It's the wavelength versus the absorbance. So you were saying like, oh, at 400 nanometers you absorbed 2, and at 401 nanometers you absorbed only 1.9, and you had tables that look like that. Kind of the same equipment, but as you can see, it's graphing time against absorbance. So basically, you pop the cuvette in the machine, the colorimeter, and it's scanning. It's going like 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, 4 second, 5 second, and it's saying, okay, how much did it absorb? How much, how much, how much, how much, how much? So it's like a video, a digital numerical video of like at each second in time, how much we absorbed at that very second. So this is my data from 2012. So it's a little different than yours maybe, but here I go. So time versus absorbance. We got to figure out, we got to prove our order here. So we're going to first be graphing time versus absorbance, and I can just do that right off the bat by grabbing those two columns and inserting a graph. More on the theory behind this later, or you can look it up, but we're going to be graphing time versus absorbance, time versus the natural log of the absorbance, and we're also going to be graphing time versus 1 over the absorbance. There we go. So I'm going to label this one in my table. Oh, nope, didn't mean to do that. Ah! Excel is wonderful, but I, after several years, still feel kind of like a noob when it does that. Alright, so time versus absorbance. And you should definitely put in your axes. So to do that, I right-clicked on my mouse and format axis. And you can, yours might be a little different, but you can add titles to it and whatnot. I don't know if I'm going to, I really should, but I don't know that I want it. Okay, I'm not going to do it. You can do it. I want to kind of just get to the point of it. So basically, time versus absorbance on the y-axis, up and down vertical, this is the absorbance, and this is time. The next one I want to do is the natural log of the absorbance. So ln is mathematically, quote, natural log. You may have learned about that in high school. If not, you will. But it's kind of like a regular log. And luckily, all you have to do is know how to push the buttons here to get the numbers. And I think we'll talk about it more in lecture. So, natural log equals, and I'm going to take the natural log of the absorbance. So, click there, end parentheses, enter. And I don't want to be doing equals natural log parentheses, click, enter. I don't want to be doing that for all of my data points. So, I'm going to grab the little black cross and drag it, come on, come on, and drag it down. No, it's not working. To the bottom. Sort of having a hard day. Come on. Man, this takes forever. Are we there yet? Usually it's faster than this. I don't know why I can't. Oh, there we go. I got it. Oh, we're already at the end. Okay. And now I want to do time versus the natural log of the absorbance. So I'm holding down the command button, clicking the A, clicking the C, and then insert graph. Oops. There. Okay, took me a minute, but we got it. So this one, I would definitely put axes on. This one is going to be, and actually, I'm going to go back and fix this. Usually it's absorbance over time. You want to put the y-axis first, so absorbance here over time, because it's literally on top of time. So this one, the y-axis, is still absorbance, but it is the natural log of the absorbance over time. And this time I put in a chart. I don't know why, but it did. So I'm going to move that over. We'll come back to these graphs in a second. This last one is just 1 divided by the absorbance. So 1 divided by that equals that. Grab and drag. And this one is working much better. And now same thing, command for this and this. Insert scatter, and I usually go for the scatter with smooth lines, but I don't know why it keeps telling me that. I think, oh whoops, I can tell you why. I accidentally clicked that box, so it's wanting that box in there too. So let me try again. Command, click, click, no box, straight up. There we go. That was my problem. So never feel like a dummy with Excel. It happens to the best of us. So this one is 1 over absorbance over time. Now looking at these, what we're trying to do is figure out which of these operations, absorbance, natural log of the absorbance, or 1 divided by absorbance, makes the graph linear. If 1 over absorbance makes it linear, then that means it is secondary, like the order secondary. If it's this one, it's primary, or like, not primary, what am I trying to say? Like first order, second order, and 0 order. So, which one of these, and I'll put them back in original order, here's absorbance, natural log of absorbance, or 1 divided by absorbance. Which one of these looks the most linear? Linear being spelled L-I-N-E-A-R, so linear. Which one looks most like a straight line? Obviously this one. So to prove that, add a trend line. You want it to be linear because we're trying to prove that it's linear. And you can choose to display the equation on your chart, You don't need it for any calculations, so I would probably just choose to display my r² value. Reminder that r² is how closely the data matches the line. So if you zoom in really close, you can see there's a dotted line as well as our data. And it's really, really close. So our r value is going to be very, very close to 1. If our r value is 1, it would be a perfect match. Since we have 0.9998, that means that it is very, very, very close. Do that with the other ones. You'll see that it doesn't come as close. Add a trend line, linear, display r value, move it somewhere that you can read it. That one sort of matches, but it's only 0.95, not as good. And this one obviously is only going to get worse. So you would choose this one, and that is what you would paste on the first report where it says make sure to attach all graphs.